talk shows. It's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
She's reckless, daring, bold, brassy, fearless, and you know she's audacious. Here she is in all her sordid glory, The Ann Walker Show.
Hello. It's the Ann Walker Show here at UBNradio.com, and I hope you're tuning in tonight, and I hope you on the East Coast are staying warm, and I have my brand new special co-host, Mr. Scott Nevins.
Special Ed.
Yes, Special Ed.
I like that. My special co-host. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
New and permanent.
New and permanent. How
until
exciting.
we have our first fight or something. I just don't think we will.
Have we had a fight? Yeah, we haven't had a fight yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Just sequence.
I'm still here, Ann. We've had many fights, and I'm still here. I'm just
exactly, right?
That's true.
I'm
John
just
Williams.
totally teasing.
The best engineer in the world.
No relation to Andy Williams or any of the Williams brothers.
No. I know.
Hello,
He sings better than
hello.
any of them, though.
Wait.
Oh, my God.
How did I not know that you sang?
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, God, honey.
Ann actually got to hear me for the first time, really. I mean, she heard me sing recordings, but she's never actually heard me sing. So
it just
that
blew my mind.
What style of music do you sing?
He
pop
sings
R&B.
anything, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've been trying to get him to go on The Voice, at least go and audition.
Yes, why not?
But he doesn't want to go to a cattle call, which I cannot blame him.
Yeah.
So if we know anybody that knows anybody, the casting person for them, I would like to get him in there.
Well, how about you just sing for us and we'll like swivel our chair around and pick you.
Okay.
It's the same thing, really.
Right.
I could look like Gwen Stefani if I pull my face back far enough, you know.
And I guess I could. I can't look like any of them.
Oh, honey, you're set. Look, I come here and the whole set falls down.
You see?
Hold
You
on.
see?
We'll get someone in there. It's okay. You can stay. It's okay.
The thing is, the hook is missing.
Yeah.
Back there. I
Right.
couldn't hook it.
You can hook
Anyway, let's get on with this. I just read right here on Facebook, fresh off the presses, is this. We've talked about him so many times, Scott Lively, who's the. I won't even call him a minister, but he's the one that preached the kill the gays and supported that bill over in Uganda and in Africa. And he's been trying to get out of the indictment against him for human rights. Human rights. What do you call it? Human rights, crimes against humanity.
Okay.
He's been trying to get out of that
Not
indictment.
to be confused with Cards Against Humanity, which is a game.
Oh,
this
is?
is very Cards
Oh,
Against Humanity.
I
this
never
is
heard of
very,
that.
very
Right,
different.
right.
Well, anyway, he's been trying to get this indictment dismissed, and again today they are not going to do that. They're going to keep him right there in the courts. Yeah. First Circuit Court of Appeals denied Lively's final request to have it dismissed bail because the whole genocide thing. You know, he made people kill their people because they happen to be homosexual, which pulls us into the first big story that I wanted to talk about, which is the 70th anniversary yesterday of the Holocaust. And I just want to read this statement that was made by, I won't tell you yet. I'll just read the statement. We must exterminate these people, homosexuals, root and branch. We can't permit such danger to the country. The homosexual must be entirely eliminated. Now, with these chilling words, the head of the SS, Heinrich Himmler, set out the Nazi master plan for the sexual cleansing of the Aryan race. This young German guy, they tell a story about in the early 1930s, he had no idea of what was about to happen. He says he didn't fully understand the situation. He went off he went. They arrested him. You are suspected of being a homosexual. You are hereby under arrest. That's the way he was told.
And that was it, right? They didn't need any
There
proof?
was no trial. There was no hearings. Nothing. He was off to Dachau without a trial. And there's a documentary film, which is another reason I wanted to bring this up, called Paragraph 175. This paragraph 175 was although homosexuality was illegal under paragraph 175 of the German Criminal Code, it was relatively rarely enforced. In the Reichstag, MPs were on the verge of securing its repeal. A new era of freedom seemed to be dawning. Then came the horrors of Nazism. And so within weeks of assuming power in 1933, Hitler outlawed homosexual organizations and publications. It's like that whole thing. There was a saying about they come for your neighbor and you do nothing. And then when they come for you, no one does anything about that.
Exactly.
You know?
Everyone turns a blind eye.
Yeah.
You know, if they come for your neighbor, they're going to come for you next because they're never satisfied.
Exactly.
They are never satisfied.
And what I guess I'm trying to say here is we still have it going on 70 fucking years later.
Absolutely.
And I'm amazed that we have not evolved from knowing about all this, knowing what they did to the poor Jewish community, and I mean it's just mind-boggling to me that we haven't been able to weed out these people like the Scott Liveleys, like the Mike Huckabees, like all these people who continue to espouse that homosexuals are causing some kind of a big problem for us.
Yeah, all in the name of religion, by the way.
Yes.
99% of the time it's in the name of religion. And that's the problem, too, is that Mike Huckabee speaks to an audience that is very religious.
Exactly.
And so they believe him. And they believe homosexuality is bad. They believe that it is the root of all evil. When really, go look at your choir. If you like how they're singing, there's a lot of homos up there in that choir.
And your leader, your music leader.
Yes,
there at the church.
And probably your priest.
Yeah.
You know, I think, but seriously though, I think that we have such an issue in this country with, and it's like history repeating itself, you know.
I know.
The Holocaust, then civil rights movement with African Americans, you know, equal rights for women. And suddenly the last frontier is, you know, the LGBT community. And so there's always this argument, well, you know, the African American community doesn't really stand with the gay community, even though it's not, because it's not the same struggle. It is.
It is.
Equal rights are equal rights.
That's right.
Human
that is exactly
rights.
Right.
We are all
and
human.
The Friendship Nine, who were the ones who sat at that counter in 1964, I believe, and were arrested but stayed in jail and went to a prison camp where they were at hard labor for 30 days. They had a whole new strategy that they were trying to work where they go to jail and no bail. They stayed in jail. They didn't know what to do with them. So they sent them out and to these hard, what do you call it? I just said it. Anyway, these prison camps were hard labor. And they just, the judge has this grandson who was now a judge in the same court. He was today or yesterday, they expunged all of their records and made them, you know, brought them all this kind of stuff and
I love that.
Publicity and
This is the and I'm blanking on the name because I went and saw the counter at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I'm forgetting where that took place, and it's a very famous the sit-in. I can't remember the name of the city.
It was in Alabama, I believe.
Why am
Montgomery
I blanking?
or Selma?
Selma.
Selma.
No. Selma's the movie that just came out.
No, but Selma, there is a Selma, Alabama.
Yes, but what I was saying...
He's going to find.
Yes.
You put in Friendship 7?
Okay.
A 9?
9. But the thing is, when I went to the Smithsonian this summer because my best friend lives in D.C. And I said, I'll just go. I haven't been in a while. I really went to see the Ruby Slippers. And near the Ruby Slippers was the counter, the actual counter. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And I stood there. And I got so emotional.
Yeah.
I teared up and I stood there crying while all these school kids were around me screaming and, you know, didn't care. I was crying over this, and the counter feels so tiny now and so insignificant, but how grand a statement it was. And, you know, they got beat up. They got ketchup and mayo thrown on them and their faces.
And I think there's about 6 of them that are left alive.
Is it 6? Yeah. But to expunge that and then to,
and
I
to
mean,
have
they're
the
heroes.
grandson of the man that sent them there to do this. I mean, that was pretty amazing.
And that goes to kind of counterbalance what we
Our
just said, that we haven't evolved. We have, because there's the proof.
In
Someone in the
some
same
areas.
Sure, but in the same bloodline.
Yeah.
Here is somebody
True.
who has evolved, and I think that's at least great to acknowledge that there is some little progress there, but we have so far to go. And I'm hoping the Supreme Court just makes this ruling and just gets it done with, because we're up to 36,
I think.
yeah, 37.
36 or 37
Yeah.
states.
I mean, come on. We've crossed the halfway point. It is 2015.
I know.
How does my marriage to a man affect your marriage?
Isn't that the big question to
My
ask?
87-year-old aunt says that. She goes, how does what you do in your bedroom affect me? And it doesn't. It doesn't affect your taxes. It doesn't affect your pay at work. It doesn't affect your grocery shopping. It doesn't affect anything.
And we won't even look into your house.
Yeah.
You don't look into ours. We'll stay away from your house.
There's a true statement here about why are Republican men so infatuated with gay sex? Why? Why are they so infatuated with gay sex?
Yeah.
Is it because they're spending all their time in the airport bathroom tapping their foot? Like,
Yeah.
why are you so infatuated? Leave it alone. It's not a sin. It's not barbaric. It's
No.
a naturalistic thing. You are born gay. You act on that. For some of us, it takes a very long time to come out.
Exactly.
Hence, Joel Gray.
Joel Gray today.
Bravo, Joel Gray.
Yes,
82
let's
years
give him
old.
a round of applause.
Yes, thank you, please. Welcome
82
in.
years old. And
Life is a cabaret, old chum.
his family knew, his friends knew,
Yeah.
people in the business knew, but nobody said anything.
No.
The man is brilliant, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and at 82, if he wants to come out of the closet and be amongst people who love and care for him, it's not going to change his life much, because people are still going to love and care for him.
He said, the people in my life knew,
Mm-hmm.
and if this is new information to anybody, I don't like labels, but if you have to put a label on it, yes, I'm gay. I mean, I think it's so important that an 82-year-old, two-time Oscar-winning legend, even if he was just 82 years old, because
Yeah.
I've always said everybody has their own timeline.
That's right.
And listen, every week I'm going to be here, saying something about my community, but I gotta say it. Like, I posted this story on Facebook, and I was so pissed how many people said, wow, big shock.
What?
Those comments, about what a
Joel
shock.
Gray?
Yeah, never expected that. I get so mad at our community when people come out of the closet, whether they're young or older, and they whether you know it or not, we should be automatically supportive. With nobody, when you're out of the closet, you forget how frightening it was to be closeted.
That's right.
How unbelievably scary it was to tell your family. So here's a man with a daughter who now has a different nose. I mean, even the old nose knew he was gay. It's unbelievable.
And his son is a chef.
Yes, and it's so great. And everyone's listen, I've known for years, because I worked in New York in that theater community. Everyone kind of knew. It was an open secret, is what they used to call it.
He was married to the same lady for 24 years, 2 kids.
Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing,
Yeah.
for those who don't know.
And he was a terrific dad and a terrific husband and wonderful entertainer for all of us.
Fantastic.
And speaking of which, let's talk about Bruce Jenner.
Yes.
Now, I want to go on record right now, and I think Scott will back me up, and John too. We are applauding Bruce Jenner. Yes, we are.
I agree.
Yep.
He could be a great spokesperson for this issue.
Yeah, and anonymous sources have said that Kris Jenner knew before she married him that he wanted to be a woman, and that he said that was part of and she begged him not to, and that she wanted to be together, and la la la.
She wanted to save it for the show.
Wow.
Well, I don't think they had a show when they got together back in the 70s.
Wow.
But yeah. These are anonymous sources, so I don't know. I read it somewhere.
If it's one of the girls' hair or makeup guys, it's got to be true, because they know everything. Hair and makeup people know everything.
That's so true.
I mean, I applaud him, because this has been going on for almost a year and a half now. We've been seeing these pictures in the Inquirer and growing the nails, growing the hair. He's transitioning. And if this is true that he's going to come out in an interview and say this, I say bravo.
I do too.
Here's an Olympic
gold medalist.
Gold medalist. I think it is so wonderful to have him attached to this, this issue now.
Well, transgender is the next real stumbling block that I think the LGBTQ community has.
Yes.
And I think that if we can get marriage equality, if we can get the Supreme Court on our side to ban any kind of discrimination, and we need to get on the federal, I think it is already on the federal level about discrimination in the workplace, but so many states still have discrimination in the workplace.
Absolutely.
And these assholes down in Alabama who are saying that they're going to go against the judges, the Supreme Court guy.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Seriously, pardon my language, but fuck you. This
says,
is a law now.
Yeah, and they're not going to issue any marriage licenses. And there's something about they're not going to issue any marriage licenses unless you can prove that you are a Christian or that you are in a particular church.
Can we go back to talking about the Holocaust? Because this is feeling eerily similar.
Yeah, don't you think?
That is what's frightening about 2015 to me, is that there is shit like this going on, and we go, oh, well, it's Alabama. We excuse them. We excuse the Bible Belt every day, and I'm sick of it. I come from New York City, born and raised in Queens. I have no connection to the Bible Belt. I've always thought of them as mostly backward. Yeah. Unfortunately, because that is the image. Yes, because that is the image.
There's a lot of inbreeding there. Yes. I can speak that. I know this for a fact.
You know about inbreeding?
Yeah. Well, I saw Deliverance.
Uh-huh. Jeez.
I did. And I just believe that there's not enough. People who stayed there to fight the fight, to try to bring some kind of understanding, they knock those people down at every turn. Yeah. Whether it's defunding education, whether it's, limiting votes.
Or women's rights to their own bodies.
Yep. And then we have the state representative from Alabama, openly gay. Thank you very much, Patricia Todd. She's a state representative, Democrat, thank you. This weekend warned her fellow lawmakers that she would expose their marital infidelities if they continued to oppose same-sex marriage by emphasizing family values. She says, I will not stand by and allow legislators to talk about family values when they have affairs, and I know of many who are and have. Oof. I will call our elected officials who want to hide. I will call them out, who want to hide in the closet. She'll call them out. It also said she threatened her colleagues after many lawmakers condemned a federal judge's Friday's ruling that struck down the Alabama ban on same-sex marriage. Okay. Anyway, it's all about being a hypocrite. Is her point.
Yes.
She can't tolerate hypocrisy. And that, my friends, is why I left the Church of Christ and the Baptists, because it was just a hotbed of hypocrisy.
I agree.
Every week, every Sunday night. I mean, these pious friggin' people who thought that their shit didn't stink, and they would walk out of the church house, light up a cigarette, and turn to their second or third wife, and those things were against the rules. Yeah, they're against the rules in those churches.
I will say, though, in regards to what she wants to do, I have very mixed feelings about it.
Yes, tell me. You said that.
Because I've always come from the school that you should be better, not bitter. And I feel that coming down to that level almost hurts our cause. I get why she wants to do it. I get the anger. I get the passion. And I stand with her 100%. But I think actually doing it kind of makes us just as bad as the people who were seeking out gay people at the Holocaust and being like, there's one over there. There's a Jewish person.
But the thing is, as she said, I don't have direct knowledge because obviously I'm not the other person involved in the affair. But one thing you would never hear about me is that I have ever cheated on a partner or had an affair. You hold yourself, no matter if you are homosexual, male, female, whatever, you hold yourself a certain way.
To a standard.
Yeah. And by golly, I think that it's great that she's standing up.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. And I love that she's speaking out. I often worry about when you sink to those kind of dirty tactics. It would be like somebody saying,
well, maybe she won't have to.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, that the fear of it. Yeah, the threat. And I'm all for threats. I just sometimes worry about, because we are a minority group, sometimes you have to handle yourselves with a little more. Point. You have to kind of, the complaint I had about the NYPD last week, I said, you should be better. You shouldn't be stooping down to the level and complaining. You should be rising above. And I feel like when you're a minority, you are held to different standards, as we both know. And so I think there's a delicate dance that we can do there, but I do love that she's playing the game that way.
Well, she almost has to down there because that's all they know to respond to.
That is true.
You know,
yeah, it's a culture.
Yeah, it is a culture thing down there, and they don't want those big old wives of theirs to sit on them or catch them and beat them up.
Sit on them.
And they could.
Is that a real fear there?
I don't know.
That the wives sit on them?
They could, though.
It's amazing.
I've seen a bunch of them, you know, Jack Sprat and his wife. Yep. A whole bunch of them were in my own family. Also, I can't let Sally Kern I can't stop and not say something about that bitch. Whose son happens to be a homosexual.
She's a pig in a wig.
She really is.
Ugh.
And not a very good wig, too. She's ugly, and she's just creepy. And she's been the scourge of these boys and girls in Oklahoma. She's another state representative in Oklahoma, like the opposite of what Patricia Todd is. Mm-hmm. She introduced 3 bills targeting gay people. She's got the trifecta, though, on this. She says she wrote a book. Yeah, she penned a book titled The Stoning of Sally Kern, The Liberal Attack on Christian Conservatism and Why We Must Take a Stand. Well, anyway, she wants to, of course, the conversion therapy. She doesn't want that banned. But I'm sure
because it's proven to work so well.
Oh, yeah.
How's her son doing?
Yeah, I'm sure he's been through it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have many stories to tell.
Exactly, when he gets away from her.
You know, conversion therapy is so dangerous because
we've had doctors on this show.
Not only the process, but like the ramifications of culturally of what you're telling a society. Yes. It is so wrong and so damaging.
And it will be damaging from that day forward.
Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will not change. And Senator Ted Lieu, who's been on the show before, he's the one that sponsored the bill here in California to ban reparation therapy.
Reparative therapy.
Reparative therapy, yeah. Anyway, Sally Kern is a one-woman
freak show.
Yeah, she wants to.
I don't like her.
No, she wants to defund same-sex marriage.
Okay. First of all,
what is there? How do you
defund it? And let's be honest about it. Let's take away me being gay, you being hugely supportive of the community. Let's talk about something very important about gay marriage. It brings in tons of revenue.
Thank you.
It brings in so much money. All these assholes who say, "Oh, I won't make a cake for a gay wedding." Fuck you. You lose the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. It brings in so much revenue. Every state that has passed it says our intake is so much higher now because we are gaining money from, gay men. Supposedly, the old adage was we have disposable income. I'm still looking for mine everywhere. I've been looking at every garbage can I can find. Because back in the day there weren't a lot of gay men who had kids. Now we have kids and all that. But
that's the whole beauty part of how the evolution of gay marriage is going.
Yes.
Because they are creating families. Lesbian women, I guess that's redundant, but gay men, lesbians, they are creating families. They are adopting children. They are having IVF performed. They have surrogacy. Next month, we've got one of the major guys from the Equality
California?
North Carolina.
Oh,
He's
nice.
going to be on the show, and there's a big gala here in L.A., and I'm going to get to go to it.
Nice.
And I'm very excited. And it's all, there's a big surrogacy section of that.
I love that.
Of that movement. And our own Tommy Woelfel and Rich, his partner, they've been on Dell and Emerson's show. He's an attorney, Rich is, and they all have gotten children through this surrogacy.
It's
amazing.
I
think it's a wonderful idea.
And there's been tons of, I shouldn't say tons, there's been a few independent studies proving that children of gay couples actually perform better in school, are healthier. And because
they give them more attention.
Yes. And, I am, people who say, well, there needs to be a mother and father, I'm hoping those people realize what they mean to say is there needs to be 2 parents that are supportive. It helps raise the child.
Exactly.
Single parents have it so tough. I have
do.
so many friends who are single parents, and it's so unbelievably hard for them.
Yeah.
And it does make it easier when there are 2. It's an extra set of hands, extra set of money, extra set of everything.
Everything. And even if one person stays home and the other person goes to work. You've
which
still
is
got
rare
a stay-at-home parent
Yep.
that really helps with the children, their education, going to school. And when I read anywhere where private schools or something, have turned away a child because he's got two moms or two dads, I want to go and fucking picket that school.
I agree. Well, again, it's just stupidity. It's just people who don't understand about the issue. And I have always said our greatest ally is being ourselves, because when somebody meets a gay person, okay, you're not evil, you're not scared. Okay, I get it now. You'd be shocked how quickly people change their opinions.
Absolutely.
Hence, when children or young adults come out to their parents, how some fathers and some mothers really do a turnaround on the issue, because they realize. I had a lot of people tweeting at me just asking if they needed to call in, the number they can call in and chat with us if they wanted to.
If you want to, it's 323-284-7826.
All right.
7826. Now, we're going to take a real quick break because we've got our two guests that are going to be coming on. One is a psychic by the name of Louis Mabee, Mabee, and you can go on his website, which is...
Maybe he's psychic, maybe he's not.
Maybe.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Sorry, Louis.
He lives in Canada, but he's down here, and he's going to be talking to clients.
Now, I believe in psychics and all. Like
I do too.
I'm all on board for this, so I'm excited.
Me too. Hopefully, he'll read our auras.
Yes.
But he's an international.
Say we're bitchy.
Yeah, I guess after seeing us for 30 minutes, he probably will. Anyway, but he's a professional clairvoyant, medium, healer, intuitive, and a wellness coach. So we're going to have him on. And returning again is our wonderful Michael Arrington, who has an aunt, as you well know, named Esther Goldberg. But Michael will be appearing in San Diego. He's going to be here telling us about that this Friday, one night only, San Diego. He's brought his Paul Lynde show down there.
Oh, I love Paul Lynde.
I do too. I did. But now him doing it, I saw his show. It's fabulous.
Yes.
He's like a reincarnate of Paul Lynde.
Paul was so ahead of his time.
Oh, my God. But
So
he was
daring.
so funny.
Do you want to take a call?
Okay, we'll take a quick call, then we'll go get them.
All right. 818.
Hi, caller. What's your name? And if you're calling from 818, it means you're out here.
Yes, I am.
What's your name?
Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. What's your question or your comment?
Oh, I just wanted to say I'm watching the show, and Louis, I've had readings from him, and I just wanted to say how wonderful he is, and right spot on.
And you
so
live out
excited.
here, don't you? 818.
I do.
Great. Well, Barbara, I'm so glad you called in. You want to call back in a little bit and talk to him and say...
What time he's going to be on?
We're going to take a quick break right now, and I'll have him and Michael on together in about 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll call back.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and just play something that's wonderful.
You got it.
We'll be back with more of The Ann Walker Show on UBN Radio.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better, and some have gone, and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no
Welcome back to the Ann Walker Show on UBN Radio.
God, I love Bette Midler. I just love her.
If you're cracking up from having lack of shacking up, why don't you pack it up and find yourself a crazy kind of love? Remember that?
I love that.
Always lack of nookies got me, I see it has.
Oh, he
didn't
wasn't
hear any
plugged
of that?
in.
No, he's fired
You
up.
didn't hear any of that?
Yeah, now we got you.
We could still hear you though. That was the best part.
Bette Midler's thing, the South Sea Island chant. On the South Sea Island of Tawanga, where the beautiful people play, they bring you beautiful flowers and tropical island lays. Long way around supper time, you hear the natives sing soft and low. You hear them chanting softly, and you hear them get down low. If y'all cracking up from having like a shacking up, if you're cracking up from having like a shacking up, why don't you pack
It's one
it
of
up?
my favorites. She does that. At
Yes.
least she's done that many times in the
So many
shows. And Michael Arrington, thank you for being here.
Aw, it's been a crazy day.
Yes.
You do not know. Dragging a psychic across town who's picking up every frickin' vibration.
And also Louis Mabee.
Hi, Lou.
Yeah.
Just come on into the-
Pull your microphone. Yeah, there we go.
It's long, speak
It's
into
long,
it.
speak into
Yeah.
it. That's right.
Thanks for being here all the way down from Canada.
Thank you. All the way up. Well, coming down. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Lord,
Down.
have
I live
mercy,
up
this
north,
is gonna
down
be one
Yeah.
of them
Where in
days.
Canada?
Kitchener-Waterloo, outside of Toronto.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know where that is. I love Toronto.
Yeah.
I've performed there a few times. It's great at Buddies and Bad Times.
Bad Times, Woodies,
Yep.
Sailors. Yep.
Oh, I don't know about those. Those sounds like dirty strip bars. I
not
haven't
really.
done that. Oh, I haven't gotten there yet.
I'm surprised you haven't been there.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
I love
thank you
Toronto.
both for being here tonight. And now we'll talk to Louis. Louis, you're from Canada.
Yep.
Were you born and raised there?
I was born and raised.
And I
Canadian.
read your bio, and you said around 4 years old, you started having these sort of special kinds of feelings.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I remember my little bed. I was woken up, and there was this lady sitting on the edge of my bed. But what was really cool, and I was doing it constantly, was like I could put my hand through her. And she was talking, and she was smiling as I was doing this, and, you know, I was amused, and she was conversing with me and just telling me, you know, you're going to be seeing things growing up that not everyone else is going to see, and you're going to be feeling things and noticing things, so she says, don't worry, don't be afraid. And I never did, because I always did as I was told. So that's how it but it didn't make sense, obviously, because I was 4, but I always reference that back whenever I had milestones in my life to not be afraid. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I've gradually gotten to this stage.
And when did you decide to make this a career?
I think I'm 24 years professionally.
Wow.
So all my life, but 24 years professionally, and so I'm 27 now. So
And cute, too.
Thanks.
And funny. Now, but what made you wake up one day and say, okay, I think I can do this as a profession?
yeah, I was working in the hospitality industry, and I was a manager, and one of my servers, Jean, I just looked at her one day. I'm like, why are you so ashamed of your scar? And she automatically threw her hand up on her ear, even though there was no scar visible, because she always wore long hair. And in her culture, to have that kind of thing happen at an early age was not necessarily approved sort of thing, because she was blemished. And the only people that knew about this scar, what happened, she was born with water on her brain. So they had to go and operate to get the water.
Encephalitis.
Right.
Yeah.
And so her mom, her dad, and her were the only people in the world that knew. And she just says, you just got to be doing this for real. And I'm like, okay. And that's how I started. I just, you know, because I've always been everyone's confidant. I've always been everyone's go-to, and being able to give them what they needed, what they should hear, regardless if they wanted to hear or not. 2 different things. But because of that, it helped me with my confidence to be able to say, here's the message, go out, do it. Mm-hmm. And it's totally up to you, but I must be doing something right.
Absolutely. So how many times a year do you come down here?
Probably 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about that a year.
How did the two of you meet?
I was on Facebook one day, and it was actually, you know, I have the Esther account,
Yeah.
Paul Lind account, the Michael account. And all of a sudden, I'm on the Esther account, and I see this on my messages. And I'm going, what is this, Louis Mabee? So then I went in, and I looked, and it said, hi, my name is Louis. I've never met you before. something is telling me that you're going to be very famous. You're going to be on red carpets. It's very strong what I'm feeling about you. And I'm like, what? Who is this person? I don't know who he is. And I wrote him back and I said, well, that's really interesting. You at the time didn't realize, didn't know me as Michael.
No,
he only knew as Esther.
Esther. Oh.
Because a lot of people know me only as the old Jewish woman, and a lot of people think she's real. And
I always have.
Right, and and I had to explain to him. I go, no, this lady is one person, Michael's another person, And so we started talking back and forth. And then how long ago was that?
6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago, and a lot of the stuff he has sort of foreseen, and said has actually come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been pretty amazing.
That's great. Did you have to study with anybody to know? You just sort of had this.
No. I have always had it. I've been very fortunate to be able to have been blessed with this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everyone can develop it. Everyone does have it. Because
I've heard that.
Yeah. Because I've never said. I've never been told no. Don't say that. Don't do that. Like I could remember walking by the phone. Oh, Grandpa's going to call, and 2 minutes later, my grandfather would call. And so is going to show up for dinner. Make sure we have enough. So sure enough, there they came, unannounced. And so, but I always thought that, for example, everyone could see dead people growing up, because I could. But because no one ever said don't go there. Because I remember one day I was playing with my friend at the time. I was probably 7 or 8, and we were playing Kick the Can with a bunch of people, and I stopped.
That was my favorite game in Queens, New York, by the way. Kick the Can.
Well, that's all you could do.
At my age,
yes.
kick the bucket.
Yeah.
And I was running, and I stopped mid-run, and I said, David, come over here. I said, put your ear to my ear. Can you hear them talk? Can you hear them? And he's like, no, I think I better go home now. So that's when I started to figure out that there might be a little bit of differences between, everyday life.
Can you turn it off, though? Are you ever on a date or out to dinner and you're just like, stop, like, they're just annoying you, or are they actually helping you?
No, a true reader can't read themselves.
Okay.
But they're never, ever off, but I know how to tune them out.
Got it.
And what about the psychic? What's her name?
Long Island.
Long Island
medium.
medium.
Yeah, medium.
Yeah.
Teresa.
Yeah.
What do you think about her?
She's pretty cool. I think that her messages as a medium is very strong and very positive, and it feels like she has a really strong connection in a very specific way.
Well, when I watch the show, which hasn't been that often, but when she's in a store shopping with her daughter or whatever, and she finds somebody, even a grocery store, somebody in that store, she'll just walk right up to them,
right,
and
I don't, because in my professional view, you need to be given permission.
Exactly. Yes.
And so I just have to keep on walking. I mean, I don't like Christmas time only for the simple fact that I don't do malls. Because everyone's in a bad mood, they're rushed, they're whatever, and so all that energy is out there, and I'm like, whoa.
The heightened emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I try to get my shopping done in September.
Do you have any thoughts, any
That's the most impressive thing he has said the whole time, though. You get your Christmas shopping done in September?
I've already started. I shop all year long.
Wow. That is impressive.
I feel like such a schlub now. Like,
so
organized.
Do you get any impressions from Scott or me or John? Just being in here, think about it.
For John, you're going through actually quite a huge change without you even knowing it. I mean, you know some of it, but I really want you to focus on letting go, because you tend to want to control and you tend to want to be able to navigate whether you turn left or right. I want you to just kind of like put on the GPS and just allow it to guide you. Okay. Because you're wrapping up a few things from your past, which I love. It's about frickin' time. Get your ass in gear, though, because you're delaying.
Yes, that's good.
But there's new chapters that are waiting for to be open, which is very rare, because usually we have to finish everything up before the new chapter actually starts. But you're kind of like caught in this dichotomy of living old but trying to embrace the new. And so I really want you to focus on dotting all your T's, or dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's, and putting that period at the end of that sentence and turning the page. Okay. It's very important that you do this by March.
Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah.
Pisces or Aries?
Pisces. Actually, Aries cusp, so March 20th,
March 20th?
which is a big old...
Yeah.
I'm a cusp, too.
Yeah. Okay.
I am as well.
That's why we get along. Are you a cusp, too?
February 19th. I'm Aquarius and Pisces.
And I'm February 12th.
Are you really? Oh, your birthday's coming up very soon.
When's yours?
I'm a virgin. I'm Virgo. 31st.
In his dreams.
Yeah.
You press the reset button, huh, Michael?
Yeah.
Again.
Born again. Born again.
So go ahead.
Anne, who's the woman that you were close with that's passed away? And this is going back a while that she's passed.
Oh, yeah.
She's not really saying too much other than the fact of she just really wants you to know that she's very proud of you. I don't know if there was some sort of, I don't want to call it a falling out, but there's something to do with like some sort of shortness around her. She's telling me it's all's forgiven. Okay?
Good.
And you have to just focus on being forward, because your shtick is evolving still. And she's behind you 100%. And she's the one that does kick your ass when you're sitting back too far. And so this is a time for you to embrace this new beginning, actually, for you. You're in control.
Good.
You're in control.
I like that.
Probably for the first time in this on this level of control, you're in control. And this is going to be quite an astounding year for you. Lots of hiccups, but these hiccups I don't mind, because these are just basically, you dug your foundation. Oh, well, I mean, out here you don't have foundations for houses. You do. You dug your foundation. You have the structure up, the drywalling's in, the plumbing, all that. Now it's time to decorate. So if you don't like a color, strip it and put a new one on.
Great.
Okay. This is going to be that year for you. This is a year that you decorate, and this is amazing.
Good.
So, do you know someone that does porn?
A few people, yeah, but not well.
Okay,
that's hilarious that I would get that. The prudest gay
I
man.
know. I was like, what?
He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs.
but
He doesn't
there's
smoke.
There's something. I mean, and don't worry, you're not going to the porn industry.
Your next boyfriend will be.
Yeah, right.
Guess
Name's
what?
Dick.
He would not be good enough for you.
No, the reason why it's coming through is because there's something to do with you offering assistance on a certain level through that connection, not to that person. And it's going to be a really weird situation for you to be involved with it. You're not heavily involved, thank goodness. You're just basically passing by, and it could just be as simply as just offering a name to pass on to someone, that kind of thing. But it's someone that does porn.
And how does that person affect my life?
Doesn't.
Oh.
But it's just one of those things where it's like something that you can tell your friends about. Like, you will not believe the day I had.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's not in your norm.
Got it.
Like, this is not your lifestyle. Like, it's not something that you go to Palm Springs and, go to those the parties and all that sort of thing. Like, this is something that it's gonna stand out for you, because I guess it does impact you in a way, but it impacts you afterwards as far as I think you're gonna hear word about the success of that person that you indirectly helped out.
Okay.
And that's going to make you feel good, because you tend to be a connector.
He is.
Yeah. And so this is going to be something where you're always that old-fashioned telephone operator of one moment please, and you're dialing them into the right
Lily Tomlin.
Exactly. Yeah. And so this is, and so you're going to be able to move that forward a little bit. And also you need to start writing. You're supposed to be doing the book, and you keep procrastinating about it.
Stop it.
Yes.
Write the damn book.
He's turning red.
I'll be darned.
You got him.
There's your moment.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 books actually in it. There's 2 books.
Yes, there is.
There's 2
Jesus Christ. Yes, there is 2 books. Wow.
Get out of your own way.
Oh, I tell myself that all the time. Trust me. I just have to do
You
it.
totally roadblock yourself.
Don't we all, though?
We do have a tendency of doing
I
that.
think we all have
But-
that.
but-
I know I do. know.
Wow, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a believer, but that really was like something I've only told about 5 people. and I've put off for I'll tell you, it's a book about my dad's death. I stayed with my dad for 8 months when he was dying, and thought I could write a book about it, and every time I go to write it, it's a block. I can't do it.
I think that connects with the porn thing. You're helping someone with passing death. I think that
whatever it is, I'm getting chills, so it's definitely.
I just got teared up.
I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
you're helping someone with transition, and you're helping someone accept someone's passing.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Now, how do you figure out people's aura? How does that go? Do we just have one around us? Tell us what an aura is.
We have an aura is energy, and a lot of I'll say see. I sense an aura. I can see an aura. So it depends on the person. Even like, for example, I remember one day driving freeways. You guys have freeways.
What do you have?
We have highways.
Okay. We have highways too.
Okay. I was driving down the highway and I was behind this car, and it was a green car, and I'm like, pass it. And I just had this overwhelming, like I needed to get away from this car. I could not follow this car anymore because the energy, the aura around it, I didn't like. It wasn't connected with me. So I passed it. And thank God, because the 11 o'clock news, guess who was in a car accident?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question? Because growing up, I grew up in a house that I've always believed was slightly haunted, which I know is a different thing slightly. But I would have very interesting experiences with hearing things, not seeing things, but hearing things like noises, but also that idea of I would think very strongly about, oh, well, the phone's going to ring and it's going to be Mary, and it would happen. And it didn't stop, but it definitely dissipated by the time I got older, and I thought maybe I had talked myself out of it. Or
were you in your mid-teens?
Yeah.
What usually happens is we were born extremely connected to what I call home. I mean, this is only school. We're here to learn. We're here to make our choices. We're here to learn. But once we graduate, bang, we're gone. And so when we're born as humans, we're very in tune still to the other side. But because of our conditioning of always going, no, don't, we tend to shut down the spiritual connection. And so usually what happens around the puberty area of 12, 13, 14 to about 18, it gets shut down so that the human can grow into that adult. And then sometimes it will get connected again and sometimes it won't, because our fear factors kick in. And so that's probably what happened with you, is that because we're all in tune and you could pick those things up. And just like spirit, like even for example, if your grandfather came to you and through just a thought or a vision inside your head, and you were thinking about turnip, that's your grandfather. That is him trying to communicate with you. And all you have to just say is, hey, Gramps, and just continue on with your day. They're always your loved ones are always around you. Some of them are guiding you, but others don't need to guide you, because it depends on what you need to learn in this life. And because spirit guides have specialties as well, that and some of us are also schoolhouses. And what I mean by schoolhouse is that if we're going through a life lesson and a spirit guide needs to learn how to deal with that life lesson to help another human, they'll come in, they'll watch you and help you out. And as soon as you learn your lesson, they also graduate and they go on to whoever else they need to help. So it's all energy. It's all about the connection of soul, because the soul is always evolving and it never dies. And so that also goes back to the aura as well. And so this is gonna be a phenomenal time for all these young people being born now, because they're extremely connected, and the connection is like plugged in so hard that it's gonna be very difficult to get them unplugged.
How come?
Because we're going into that kind of Aquarius thing. We're already in it, but it's kind of like the prep before the explosion, and
the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Bingo. And so this is going to.
I had to make a Broadway reference.
I know.
Sorry.
I'm glad.
But this is where the wrong turns right. And it's not gonna be overnight. It's gonna still take many years, many decades, but this is gonna be something about change. And I always reference Gene Roddenberry, because a lot of his vision with the Star Trek series has actually come true. Like we've actually hit
Yeah.
You know, the light thing.
Well, they can't beam us up and down, can
Not
they?
yet.
Not
but
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
After a couple of tequila shots.
Yeah. Well, that's another transportation.
So true.
That's another transportation.
You and I, babe.
And you believe, you know, you said like symbolism or things that like your thought and like the turn up. Like for my dad and I, it's two things. It's the song "In the Mood," Glenn Miller's "In the Mood."
Yeah, I love that song.
Because it was a song that we owned a bar and he used to play it all the time, and the whole family would dance. And my aunt taught us all how to Lindy to it.
Yep.
And I fought to get it played at his funeral, and the Catholic Church would not allow me to do it. I wanted everyone to get up and dance at his funeral. But also pigeons are a huge thing. Pigeons are huge.
Well, they're carriers.
Yes, and on Father's Day, it's been 8 years, and I was feeling more sad than usual about him not being there. And I went to the farmer's market, and yes, there's tons of pigeons outside, but a pigeon landed right next to me and sat with me the whole time I ate. Didn't move, didn't do anything.
Yep, that's him.
Wow, I love stuff like
Amazing.
that.
And
I love that.
Just if you go back to that moment, you knew it was him.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't because there was just a bunch of pigeons there, because there's always just a bunch of pigeons there, and you could walk through it many other day and just ignore them.
Yeah.
But you knew this one was staring directly at you.
Yes.
And you had that connection.
And he was on the windowsill every day I went to visit my aunt at the nursing home rehab center. There was a pigeon on the windowsill until I showed up, and then it flew away.
Yep, because his watch was over.
And see, I tell my family in New York this. They're like, "You're crazy. What are you talking about pigeons?" But you understand. You get it, right? Yeah.
Well, my thing is, my husband died 10 years ago. Love of my life. It was a very freaky car accident. And anytime I see a 14 or a 414, I know that he's there.
Yep.
And I can't tell you how many times a day or how many times that I look at the clock in my car or anywhere and it says 414.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I've used that. You know, with Dell, it's a white feather, and he's told that story many times. Sharon Lane, who was his producing partner, passed away from pancreatic cancer, and her thing was a white feather. And she told him before she died, whenever you see a white feather, that's me. And so he has had so many instances where he's seen, and just from nowhere, a white feather. And I think that there are those things that, that happen.
Absolutely. I mean, my friend in Greece, he lost his mother 2 years ago, and they have a very special bond, not just because it's mother and son, but she had to donate, or she willingly donated, I believe his kidney, because his was failing. And anyway, he finds hearts in the weirdest places, in just sand, rocks. Someone would just randomly have a chalk drawing on the brick wall with a heart, and it would just be him at that time walking by. I'm like, being able to have that.
Do you, Michael, have anything from a deceased parent or?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Very
that
heavy.
you see?
Well, yeah, I mean, all the time. And
Yeah.
it's-
What is it? Bring
well,
that microphone a little closer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so listening to everything. No, it's one of the things Lewis picks up at my house all the time, because I have my mom and my grandma, and there's this woman named Bet who was sort of like the mom I never had, and
Which is behind him right now, by the way.
she's behind me right now, and but they're always around me. I mean, like right now, look at that. The goosebumps,
Yeah.
the bumps just went up. But yeah, because I lost my mom when I was 6. And I was raised by my grandmother, and then she passed away when I was 15, and then I was on my own from 15. We talked about that a couple times before. But then there's this woman named Bet, who we refer to as Tangina, like the woman from Poltergeist. She's this little lady. She's about this tall. And she passed away in 2000.
Zelda
Yeah.
Rubinstein.
She was Zelda, the little bun and everything. And she passed away in 2003, and she had no family, so I flew to Chicago and buried her and put her next to her daughter. And but they're around me all the time. And
Do you ever see things, though, that...
I feel things. I feel things.
See, I don't feel enough with my husband.
But
he
that's
comes
okay.
to me in dreams every now and then, but he's very untalkative, which is so
What happens
not like
though,
him.
is once a loved one passes, like freshly just passes away, they go into a stasis for about an Earth year, because there's no such thing as time over there. So they're I call it the white shroud. They get wrapped in a white shroud, and all that negative or earthly energy gets absorbed in that shroud, so that when the soul awakes, it's pure love again. It's pure joy.
Yeah.
And usually what happens after that, they'll contact you or they'll try to get in touch with you in some form of way.
The week or two after he passed away, obviously my house was full of people.
Yep.
And we had so many flickering lights, and we all decided that was him letting us know that he was
made
there.
it. They let him in.
Yeah.
Yep. And so after a while, though, and especially like for example with you with 10 years, it's like wearing your favorite sweater. It fits you perfectly, and you look like a $10 billion, but you don't feel it. You don't. And that's what happens is that we get in tune with the vibration that they're vibrating on, and so it's just kind of like that little hum in the back of your head.
Yeah. Well, I used to not, before I would never go anywhere by myself when I was married to him. I didn't feel comfortable going to a party and meeting him at the party because then I'd have to walk in and find him, and blah, blah, blah.
You're such a lady.
Yeah. Well, now, hey, Katie, bar the door. I'm in there.
Hanging on top of a bus.
Yes. Getting me some Go-Go Boys.
Did he have a lighter, one of those old lighters that you had to flick the top off?
Yeah.
Because he's
Zippo.
flicking it. Yeah, Zippos, right. He's flicking it. He's flicking around you.
Oh,
good.
I love that. Can I ask you a question? I don't know if it works the same way if you're asking about it, but today is actually the 1-year anniversary of the passing of somebody who was very special to me. And, I'm very close with her daughters. Both of them are two of my best friends.
Was this the cancer one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
He didn't know.
Wow. No, yeah, there's no way he could have known. I've never talked about it on the air or anything.
Well, and I don't get American TV.
That's right.
We do, but... She wants you to know that, remember the picture, I think or something about a beach or something like that, like out near water?
Out near water?
She was when she was healthy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, she's back to that.
Okay.
Okay, because she wasn't recognizable. She wasn't her when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
And because, she was ready to pass.
Yeah.
It was done. And so she wants you to know that she's back to being healthy. And something to do with her. Does she always play with her hair? Because she's like, look at this.
Uh-huh.
Like she's like, like she's got it. Like she's like strutting, and she's just like prancing and wanting to do cartwheels, and like she's alive.
Okay.
And she just wants to say thank you.
I love that. Thank you. All right.
This is
Wow.
great. This is so great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I feel that.
Now, before we get on to, I guess we should keep. Maybe we keep this because I want to be sure.
Don't worry about me. Don't go.
Well,
Go.
at least talk about the show. You have this great show.
I know, but the R is perfect right now.
Yeah, it does feel right, and we'll correct
going.
my mistake. You're on tomorrow night.
Keep going.
Because
I
I
was
want to
really
keep.
anxious about the Zippo thing.
I know, that's beautiful.
Because he's here.
He is. He's here. And what about the old car with the fins?
Oh, now.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Now I got the goosies.
What?
1970 Ford Ranchero.